a few drops here in the booth prior to the ball game, but it didn't amount to much, and we're going to start on time. Hi, everyone. I'm Andy Musser along with Kent Tekulve. Braves haven't beaten the Phillies in their home park yet this year. Phillies have won 5 in a row here and will try to do so again tonight behind Bobby Munoz. Kent Mercker is going to pitch the game for Atlanta, and Teak, that brings up an interesting point. Mercker, a good pitcher, but he has never beaten the Phillies anywhere.
No, he has not beaten the Phillies, whether it be as a starting pitcher or as a reliever. 0-2 lifetime. He does have a couple saves against the Phillies. That's the only thing he's got on the plus side ledger. But, it'd be interesting tonight. You look at the Braves staff, a lot of different pitchers on this staff, a lot of different styles. Mercker is the power guy, the one guy that does throw the ball overpoweringly hard. So we'll see how the Phillies react to him tonight.
Speaking of power pitching, the Phillies are getting great work out of the bullpen. I mean, when it gets as far as the 8th inning, Jim Fregosi has no problem at all turning it over to the bullpen, as he did to Ricky Bottalico last night in the 8th inning. Bottalico gets the ground ball double play to get the Phillies out of the 8th. Heathcliff Slocum comes on to pitch in the 9th inning. That was the second out of the inning as he struck out Grissom, and now he goes against Blauser. It's a called third strike. Heathcliff is happy. He has just tied for the league lead in saves along with Randy Myers. They each have 25. Look at Bottalico and Slocum. Bottalico is not allowed a run in the last 10 1/3 innings he has pitched. Heathcliff Slocum, 5 saves in 5 games against the Atlanta Braves. No wonder Jim Fregosi has confidence when he turns it over to the Cliff late in the ball game.
Well, he really does, and the bullpen has done a tremendous job. The problem has been the starting pitching not being able to get a lead to the bullpen, but when they can get it there, the bullpen has done an outstanding job. Slocum, you mentioned 5 for 5 in saves against the Braves. All 5 of those, of course, right here at Fulton County Stadium.
You know, early in the year when the Phillies were really playing well, of course, one of the key ingredients in that was the fact that they were getting great production off the bench. Well, last night, again, they had to go to a bench player. They had Kevin Elster at shortstop because of Stocker's illness. He came through with the key hit in the ballgame. Now, he did it on a 3-2 count, which is not the easiest time to be hitting. And Kent Tekulve had a chance to talk earlier with Elster about that 3-2 situation.
Actually, 3-2 isn't too bad. It's better than 2-2. But I was expecting a fastball, but he threw an off-speed pitch, and I was lucky enough to stay behind it and get a good piece of the bat on it.
And looking at 3-2 with the bases loaded against a guy that throws as hard as Avery, and he throws you the changeup of all things. I mean, there's no way you can be looking for that.
Well, I wouldn't say I was looking for it, but when I used to face him in the past, he was more a power pitcher. He's throwing a lot more off-speed pitches, a lot more changeup nowadays, and he throws it in all counts. So I was, it is in the back of my mind.
Kevin Stocker down now for a couple days. You get a chance to play on a regular basis. I know, of course, you're used to being an everyday shortstop when you're with the New York Mets, a shoulder injury. How tough is it to go back and then have to work your way back?
Well, it's not tough physically. It's tough mentally. When you get out of the game for a while, you tend to ease up, and then there's life outside of baseball, that kind of thing. And I think that was the biggest plus for me. I realized, hey, there is some fun outside of baseball, and I started to enjoy doing other things. But I figured, I still got some time left in this game, so I'm gonna make the most of it.
Speaking of the shoulder, how is it now as far as compare it to before the injury?
It's just as good, if not better. I'd say even better in the sense that now I've learned proper mechanics, throwing, and it's stronger because of all the rehab and the weight work I've done with it. So I'd say it's better than it ever was.
Teak, I think that Kevin Elster proves all over again how important it is to have a veteran on your bench rather than a young player waiting to come in.
Well, the Phillies have proved that over and over again this year with all the injuries that they've had. The guys have come off the bench. Elster, just the last in a long line of people that have come off the bench and done a superb job for Jim Fregosi. I mean, yes, it was one game. It's a short-term thing, but that's what the guys on the bench are there for. Come out, take care of a guy that's injured for a couple of days till he can get back in the lineup and then return back to your pinch hitting role.
Bobby Munoz, injured out of spring training, but now in the starting lineup, goes out against Kent Mercker here this evening. Mercker, as we mentioned earlier, has never beaten the Phillies, so we've got a good pitching matchup here tonight. Munoz against Mercker. And we'll be right back with the starting lineups for tonight's ball game in just a moment. Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, and as you can see, the sun is once more shining. We did have some raindrops before the ball game, and we have the forecast of some rain in the area, but we look real good right now, and this ball game will start on time as the Fightin' Phils try to keep their unblemished record in this ballpark this year, and all they're doing is playing the team with the best record in the National League. Go back to the medical news of the day, which is not at all good, but Lenny Dykstra underwent arthroscopic exploratory surgery by Dr. Louis Yoakum at the Curlin Job Clinic in Inglewood, California this morning. It was a 45-minute procedure. It was performed to relieve arthritis of the patella in his right knee, and Dr. Yoakum said that Dykstra would return home immediately and begin rehab later this month, but that he would be sidelined for the rest of the year. And Teak also got news today concerning Curt Schilling.
Yeah, Curt Schilling was examined by Dr. Craig Morgan in Wilmington, and found out that he had a bone spur in his shoulder and tendonitis in his right shoulder. He will be treated by Dr. Morgan and have a cortisone injection on Thursday. Now, the possibility still exists that Schilling can get back for the pitch again this season in about 3 or 4 weeks if the injection is effective. But if it's ineffective, he faces season-ending surgery also. And you know, when you hear bone spur, the cortisone may help out with the tendonitis. But when you hear bone spur, that might sound like something that even if the cortisone works and he can throw again, he's going to have to have cleaned up at the end of the year surgically.
So we have bad news and mixed bad news if you put the two of them together. At any rate, we know that Dykstra will not play for the Phillies again this year, and Schilling is questionable. Well, let's take a look now at the Phillies lineup for the ball game tonight as Kent Mercker takes the hill for the Braves. It'll be Dave Gallagher leading off, followed by Greg Jeffries. Mariano Duncan plays second. Darren Dalton is behind the plate. Charlie Hayes will be at third. Tommy Marsh has center field. Tony Longmire in left field. Kevin Elster again the shortstop, and Bobby Munoz on the hill.
Defensively for the Atlanta Braves, Fred McGriff is at first base. Mark Lemke at second. Jeff Blauser is the shortstop. Chipper Jones plays third. Ryan Klesko is in left field with Marquise Grissom in center. David Justice is in right. Javi Lopez is behind the plate tonight, and he will be catching 6'2", 195-pound left-hander Kent Mercker. Mercker's making his 18th start of the season. His last start was this past Thursday in Dodger Stadium, a ball game that the Braves lost by a score of 9-4. Mercker's numbers initially don't look real good in that ball game. Pitched only 5 innings, gave up 8 hits and 6 runs until you get to the next column. 2 earned runs of the 6, so he didn't have a whole lot of defensive support. Walked a couple, struck out 3. He's only pitched 1 time against the Phillies this year on the 5th of May. That ball game, he gave up 5 runs in 2 innings at Veterans Stadium, as you mentioned earlier. No wins, 2 losses, 2 saves, and a 4.76 earned run average lifetime against the Phillies.
He is apparently, as you say, not getting defensive support, maybe not offensive support either, because over his last 6 starts, he's 0-2, but his ERA is 2.50. That's good enough to win some ball games. Dave Gallagher to lead it off, batting at .331. Galley in the leadoff spot for the second day in a row, and he sends the ground ball over to third, but it's picked up by Jones, and Chipper throws him out. Jones playing shallow. Gallagher tried to get the ball to the left of Jones, but Chipper makes the play.
Chipper Jones, one of the candidates for the Rookie of the Year so far this year. Third baseman for the Atlanta Braves. Probably a year behind schedule. He was supposed to be a candidate for Rookie of the Year last year until he hurt that leg in spring training.
Missed the whole year. Jeffries the hitter, batting at .283, 6 homers and 29 runs batted in for Greg, who celebrated his 28th birthday yesterday. It's 84 degrees here at game time tonight. That's 4 degrees cooler than last night. Pop foul back. Right off the monitor next to our booth, where Hall of Famer Rich Ashburn was doing what any self-respecting person up here would do, and that's duck. As were we.
Speak for yourself.
You actually reached for that ball. I can't believe
it's attempting to make a play until you cut me off.
With my chair. Over the head of Blauser. It's a base hit for Jeffries. Grissom will return it to the infield. Jeffries has hit safely now in 15 of 16 games.
Mercker, the power pitcher of the Atlanta Braves staff. Fastball wants to get it in, not all the way in, leaves it up out of the strike zone. Jeffries right on top of it.
Jeffries at first and Mariano Duncan stepping in. Dunk batting at .296 at the moment. He carries an 8-game hitting streak. He's batted .435 during the streak. Got that one past Duncan. Mariano 2 hits and 10 lifetime at bats while facing Mercker. Duncan had the fingernail ripped off the middle finger of his glove hand recently in Philadelphia. Missed a couple of days, but came back pretty quick after that. It's got to be painful because, you know, sometimes when you just have a fingernail bent back a little bit, how much it hurts. He had the whole thing ripped off.
Yow.
Another high pitch. Merker's got some heat here tonight. Teak looks like he's got pretty good stuff.
Well, when you talk to Leo Mazzoni, the pitching coach of the Braves, he says that Merker has the best fastball on the Braves staff. Throws a fastball, a curveball, and a changeup, but the fastball is his dominant pitch.
No balls and 2 strikes, the count. Right down the middle, and Duncan goes. Kent Merker gets a strikeout for the second out of the inning.
After the high hard one, has Duncan thinking fastball. Comes back with another one. Not up, but on the inside part of the plate. Duncan just froze on it, not able to pull the trigger.
Darren Daulton bats now, hitting at .242. Daulton with 7 homers, 45 runs batted. Then he's never had a hit off Merker. He's 0 for 5 off him. Right down the middle for a strike. What do we know, Teak, about Merker's move?
Just an average move to first base. Oh, as most left-handers, though, just the fact that they are left-handed and facing in that direction makes it difficult to read, but does not have a, one of those pickoff moves that everybody talks about.
And there's a chance to look at it.
Just kind of hangs that leg up in the air, as most left-handers do. But you just have to hesitate for a second longer against a left-hander over at first base, because when that leg comes up, you can't automatically take off. Of course, a right-hander, as soon as he picks it up, you're gone.
Fly ball back of second base. Lemke is after it. And Lemke gets it on the skin of the infield. Daulton is out on a pop-up, and down go the Phillies. No runs, 1 hit. They leave 1 at the end of the half inning. Phillies nothing, and the Braves coming up. At Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, which will be used by the Braves as their home base next year for the last time. Next year for the last time. Then they'll move what virtually is across the street to the new Olympic Stadium, which is well along in construction right now. Every time we come here, the thing is really moving along.
Yeah, it's looking real nice, and it sits exactly, the playing field will sit in exactly the same direction as this stadium here. So, the sun's still going to set in right field, still going to be the same type of a scenario, but it is a beautiful stadium.
Take a look at the lineups. Marquise Grissom leads off, followed by the shortstop Jess Blauser, then Chipper Jones, the third baseman, Fred McGriff, the first baseman, David Justice in right field, Ryan Klesko in left field, Javier Lopez is the catcher, Mark Lemke is at second base, and Kent Merker the hurler.
Defensively for the Phillies, Jeffries at first, Duncan at second, Kevin Elster at short, Charlie Hayes at third, Longmire, Marsh, and Gallagher in the outfield left to right, Darren Daulton behind the plate, and 27-year-old right-hander Bobby Munoz on the mound.
Grissom takes ball 1. He is hitting at .266, 9 homers, 28 RBIs. He's struggling with an 0 for 10 right now. Stay with us as we give these Braves numbers tonight, because they are all 0 for this or 0 for that. I mean, they don't have literally a hot hitter in their lineup, and their team batting average of .247 is the lowest in the NL. How do they win with a batting average of .247? Great pitching and home runs.
3-run homers. It sounds like the old Earl Weaver style of baseball. Pitching, defense, and 3-run home runs.
Because winning they are. 54 and 33 coming in, and a 7-game lead in the NL East. Bobby Cox has his team really on the move. And over the recent years, they've always been a great second-half club. Three balls and 2 strikes on Marquise. One guy you don't want to see get on, because he represents about the only speed they have in their lineup. He's on. The walk strikeout ratio for Bobby Munoz is not good. 8 walks and 3 strikeouts.
You remember last game in Chicago, Bobby Munoz walked 3 of the first 4 hitters that he faced, and that prompted that first inning visit from Jim Fregosi that was not a pleasant one. I would suggest that Bobby should probably get away from the walks right here, or else Mr. Fregosi will be back out there again, and I'm sure if you have to repeat it the second time, it really will be nasty.
Yeah, that was the day Bobby, as a matter of fact, his start was put back a day because of some flu-like symptoms, and he wasn't really feeling all that well that day either. Well, the Phillies infield looks for a double play as Blauser takes a called strike. Blauser 0 for 8, batting at .220. Base stealers off Bobby, 5 for 5, although he does have 1 pickoff.
Well, it takes Bobby a long time to unload the ball to the plate. That big body, it takes a while to wind it up and get the ball plateward. So anybody that can run gets a pretty good jump off of Munoz.
No balls and 2 strikes on Blauser, who is striking out quite a bit. He's up among the league leaders in strikeouts. In fact, he's second. In your recollection, is he a guy who has struck out a lot?
Well, I don't think he struck out as much as he has this year. He seems to be on a record pace this year, but you know, he does swing the bat pretty freely. Most shortstops, contact hitters. Blauser more of a free swinger.
He is hit by the pitch. Blauser turned into it, but he was trying to get away from the ball, so they allow him to go to first.
This was a breaking ball by Munoz that he tried to throw, and this ball just plain slipped out of his hand. There's no doubt about it. See right here, Darren Dalton going to the outside part of the plate. This breaking ball just spins right out of Bobby's hand, catches Blauser in the shoulder, and then dings Darren in the mask. Doesn't do any physical damage to Blauser, but it does more damage to the Phillies now with the Braves 2 base runners on.
2 on, nobody out for Chipper Jones, a .262 hitter. Chipper now up there batting left-handed. In for a called strike. Chipper Jones had a big blow in the ball game for the Braves last night. His 14th home run. He hit it right-handed. Only the second right-handed home run he'd hit all year. He has 14 round trippers, but the great majority of them come as he's hitting right now. You talk about standing deep in the box. He is just barely legal with that foot on the back line. Trying to get every advantage he can against a hard thrower.
We talk about the Braves and their lack of a batting average, but the 3-run homers, they do have over 100 home runs, 103 for the season.
Right to Munoz. Throws it into the ground. Boy, I tell you, that's got to be a double play right there, but the Phillies fail to turn it. They do get the out at second base, but that was a terrible throw by Munoz.
You can't ask for a better opportunity to get yourself out of trouble if you're Bobby Munoz. Just a sharp one-hopper right back to the mound. See, Munoz has got the ball. Jones not even out of the box yet, but just a terrible low throw. Elster does a great job of being able to just field the ball and keep his foot on the bag, and still tries to get the ball over to first. But Bobby had a chance to get himself out of big trouble right there and did not take advantage of it. So now first and third and 1 out rather than a man on third and 2 outs.
And you face one of the big guys here in Fred McGriff. Swing on this. McGriff at .268 with 15 home runs to lead his ball club and 55 runs batted in. The Crime Dog. Ooh, he swung through another one. That pitch was up a little bit, and Freddie liked it, but did not have any contact. Nothing in 2. Well, one of McGriff's teammates has been named Pitcher of the Month in the National League, Greg Maddux. He was 4-0 month of July with a 1.27 earned run average. Danny Bichette of the Colorado Rockies was the Player of the Month. The Phillies don't question that at all. They saw plenty of damage themselves at the hands of Bichette. Greg Maddux. Yep. Very, very workmanlike. Tried to get him with that slider. Missed with it. 2 balls and 2 strikes on McGriff. McGriff in his career, 1 hit and 3 at-bats off Bobby Munoz. Phillies trying to dodge an early bullet here. On the ground. There's an out. And there's an out. How about that? So the Phillies failed to get the double play their first time up. They get it right here. For the Braves in the inning, no runs, no hits, and 1 man left on base. It's a scoreless ball game. And figures from the Phillies players, plus historical information on the team, past players. It's the best guide for all the Phillies information you'll want. Available now. You can order by phone, 463-1000, or write to Phillies Media Guide, Box 7575, Philadelphia 19101. Media Guides are $12 by mail. That includes shipping. You can also purchase them in person during Phillies home games at the Vet. Charlie Hayes leads off for the Phillies. We're in the second inning. Charlie against Kent Mercker. He has a lifetime home run off Mercker and 4 hits in 11 at-bats. And Charlie been somewhat of a hot hitter lately. 9 hits in his last 24 at-bats. Covering the last 6 ball games. Gets jammed here and pops a foul out of play. Well, Teak, the Phillies had 2 double play ground balls in 1 inning, and they got 1 of them.
Yeah, they got lucky. They got the second opportunity. You don't always get a second chance, but Bobby Munoz did after he messed up the first one. Nice ground ball by Fred McGriff to Duncan. Got himself out of the inning.
Charlie Hayes has played every inning of every game save 1. He got 1 whole game off. But otherwise, when Charlie's been in there, he's played all 9 or whatever. That's a fair ball. Eric Gregg signals fair. It rolls into the Phillies bullpen. Charlie's going to roll into second base. He's got a double. 2-base hit for Charlie Hayes to lead off the second.
Charlie tucks this ball just inside the third base bag. Chipper Jones was playing just a little bit wide, playing a normal third base position, not able to cut it off. Mercker with that fastball tails it in on the inside part of the plate, and Charlie, we talk about how Charlie likes to open those hips and get on the inside and pull the ball. Well, he pulls that one right over the bag. Jones not even close to it.
Now Tommy Marsh will want to move the runner, and in such a situation in last night's ball game, he did in fact move the runner. A fly ball to center field advanced a runner last night. That was in the 6th inning. It was Charlie who did advance, and that led to the winning run in last night's game, also scoring on a sacrifice fly.
Yeah, leadoff double and a couple of fly balls produced a winning run last night.
Down the middle for a strike. Well, Tom Marsh has been an active player. He's hit in all 4 games since his return, and Tommy, at least this year for the Phillies, has been one of those guys that seems to be in the middle of everything. He chases one here. Last night we ran into the Bleiweiss family from Northeast Philadelphia. David Bleiweiss sending regards to all of his friends back home. They drove down here to Atlanta to see the Phillies in this series. Mercker takes care of Tommy Marsh. Second strikeout for Mercker.
Well, Mercker knows that Marsh is trying to hit the ball to the right side, stays away and throws the changeup 2 times in a row. Tommy out in front of it, thinking right field, but the bat passes through the hitting area before the ball gets there.
Tony Longmire gets in. Tony having a good year, batting at .370, and Jim Fregosi at the moment is committed to playing Tony against all kinds of pitching, left or right. We'll move him around the lineup depending upon who's on the mound. There's a ball hit in the air to left field, but not very deep. Klesko is there. Longmire flies to Klesko for out number 2. So it's up to last night's hero. Kevin Elster had that bases clearing triple in last night's ball game. Here he bats with Hayes at second and 2 out. It's in for a strike on Elster. Kevin saying it took 2 full years to rehabilitate that shoulder, but at this point he's throwing as well or better as he did before the injury in the operation. And in his heyday, Teak, I remember him as being a very sure-handed guy. In fact, he has a couple of records for errorless streaks.
Yeah, he was the answer to the New York Mets' problem. They had gone through some shortstops trying to find somebody to play on an everyday basis. Elster was the final answer to that until the shoulder injury.
It's a strike, 1-2 on Kevin. He was talking last night on our radio Star of the Game show where I interviewed him about how Sid Fernandez hasn't changed at all. Because he played behind him with the New York Mets, and he remembers the same thing. He said it was like a night off if you were the shortstop. You didn't get any balls hit to you.
Last night in Sid's 5 innings, the only ball that hit the ground in the infield was a sacrifice bunt. All the rest of the outs, strikeouts, or fly balls. Typical Fernandez game.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Kevin. Off the end of his bat, hit out to Blauser. He gets it over. Nice stretch by McGriff. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. Go to the bottom of the second, 0-0. 7-game homestand coming up for the Phillies. It all begins next Tuesday night when the New York Mets are in for 3 ball games. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, each at 7:35. Then the Expos move in for the weekend. Friday at 7:35. Saturday 8:05. That's going to be Mike Schmidt tribute night. Sunday 1:35 backpack day. Monday the 14th, our final business person special of the year. That's a 1:05 game. The number for your tickets, as always, 463-1000. David Justice tries to find a comfortable spot in the batter's box. 241 average for Justice. He is 0 for 8. And 9 for 65. None of these Braves have good streaks going right now offensively. But they're mixing in their wins. They lost the final game of their road trip, and they lost last night, so they actually bring in a 2-game losing streak to this one. And Justice, you see what he's done over the last 10 days. We have a real wind whipping around this ballpark tonight. Is this the edge of that hurricane, Teak?
You think I am a meteorologist?
Well, I don't have anybody else to turn to, so.
Well, I'll tell you, the wind is blowing in from the north and the hurricane's in the south, so I'm going to say no.
Okay, but let me mention one thing to you. You're inside of a bowl here.
Oh, the flags aren't, though. They're up on top of the bowl.
Out of play. David Justice, 2 balls and 2 strikes. You know, he hurt himself against the Phillies this year making a diving catch in the outfield. They thought he would be back in a few days. It turned out that injury was quite serious, and he missed considerable time with it. In the air to left field. Longmire back. Can't get that one. Justice with an opposite field home run. His 13th. It's 1-0 Atlanta. The second night in a row the first Braves hit has been a home run.
Last night Sid Fernandez had a lot of success against the Braves with the off-speed breaking ball. Munoz tries to loop this off-speed curveball in. Justice just stays back and gets it airborne to left field. Mentioned the wind whipping around the stadium just over the outstretched glove of Tony Longmire.
And now the batter is Ryan Klesko. So Justice in the dugout with the first point, as you call it. It's 1-0 the Braves on a long ball. And that's the way they do it here. There's a breaking ball for a strike on Klesko. 1-1. Klesko's 0 for 10. Two balls and a strike on Klesko. What a great grab by Dalton. How did he pick that clean? That's amazing. Look at his month of July. Somebody had to be a little bit hot anyway. Now it's a full count on Ryan Klesko, who now is playing every day. They were playing Mike Kelly out in the outfield against some left-handers, but it seems like Klesko has finally convinced Bobby Cox he ought to be out there all the time.
Well, that 328 batting average that Klesko is carrying will, especially on a team that's struggling offensively, will help you find your way into the lineup.
High into the air to center field. Tom Marsh has plenty of time to make the play, so Klesko flies out for the first out of the inning, and he's now 0 for 11. Coming up, the catcher, Javier Lopez. He was in the game last night just briefly at the end of the ball game, did not bat. Last night's game was caught by Charlie O'Brien. They have a kind of a catching rotation here, where Lopez catches Merker, Glavine, and Smoltz, and O'Brien catches Maddox and Avery.
And the way it works out in that rotation, only once every time through that rotation does a catcher have to catch on back-to-back days. Lopez catches 2 days in a row. O'Brien never has to catch on 2 days in a row. So you get a kind of a double benefit. The catchers get a little bit of a break physically from being behind the plate every day. Also, probably even more important to Bobby Cox, because of the way this team is geared toward pitching, familiarity between the catchers and pitchers. You always work with the same catcher.
I like that shot of Professor Maddox lecturing his boys down there. Keeps him in the ball game. Curveball. Bobby Munoz strikes out Javier Lopez, his first strikeout of the ball game.
This time the slow curveball away from Lopez, the right-handed hitter. Bobby able to loop it right on the outside corner. Lopez well out in front of it.
In steps Mark Lemke. He has the biggest offer of all the Braves. He is 0 for 24 as he gets in there. The Phillies can't believe that this guy could ever be 0 for 24, because he always seems to hurt the Phillies. He's 318 lifetime against the Phils. Jim Fregosi has seen Lemke get his share of hits against this ball club. To shallow left. Longmire there. And that takes care of the inning. But the Braves get the night's first run on a homer by Justice, their only hit. Nobody left on base. 1-0 Atlanta after 2. Braves lead the Phillies 1-0 on Justice's home run. And we are now getting set for the third inning. For more Phillies baseball here on Sports Channel, tune us in next Tuesday night, 7:30, for the Phillies against Dallas Green and his New York Mets. And don't forget Larry Rosen and the pregame show. That'll be along at 7 o'clock. We like to plug that pregame show because we are so prominently featured on that pregame show that we want to give it a lot of exposure. So be sure and tune in game time at 7 o'clock. Now, Bobby Munoz has one lifetime Major League home run, and Merker was his victim. It came at Veterans Stadium June 25th of last year. Bobby looking for his first hit this year. He's 0 for 4 and 184 lifetime. Big cut. Ball and 2 strikes on Bobby Munoz. Gets a piece of it. Phillies have out hit the Braves 2-1, but this is typical. The Braves' one was the long ball. Did you think the wind helped that ball to left?
I think so. Talked about the wind blowing in from right field. The bowl effect of Fulton County Stadium, it actually catches the wind and turns it and kind of spins it around and pushes it on the way back out. You see that in a lot of the circular stadiums.
Now Merker puts Munoz away for his third strikeout. 1 away, third inning. And now Merker has cycled the lineup, so it's Dave Gallagher time again. Galley almost got a ball by Chipper Jones at third. Chipper hard to his left, picked up the ground ball, and got Gallagher to start the ball game. Gallagher's been tough on the Braves, 6 for 18 against Atlanta this year, and of course last year he wore their uniform. Outside, ball one on Gallagher. Dave hitting .329. Fly ball back of the infield right side. It'll be a play here for Justice. Gallagher retired for the second out of the inning. Two up and two down. Greg Jeffries is going to bat. He has one of the Phillies' 2 hits, a single to center field. Jeffries against Merker in his career, 6 for 13. Hard hit ball, but Chipper Jones is there. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Phillies go 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the third, 1-0 Braves. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Beechwood Age Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. The Yellow Pages, 9 out of 10 people choose the genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. And by Pico Energy, focusing our energies on you. Pico Energy. Andy Musser with Kent Tekulve at windblown Atlanta Stadium. This is as windy as I can ever recall it in this ballpark. And the Phillies are trailing 1-0. Merker to lead it off against Munoz. Merker hitting at 118. And the count on him, no balls and 2 strikes. He has 4 hits this year. 2 of those hits are doubles. When he came into the year with only 3 lifetime hits, he has 4 hits this year. You have to remember, though, that he was a relief pitcher for quite a while. In fact, Merker has got his first major league save against the Phillies. Right down the middle. Merker strikes out. Munoz picks up K number 2 tonight. Now the top of the order gave him trouble first time through. He walked Grissom and then hit Blauser. Let's see how he gets by with him this time. Marquise taking the long way to the plate to give his pitcher a chance to get back. These dugouts here, they are as far away from home plate as any ballpark we go to.
Yeah, this is not a ballpark that you want to strike out in because it's a long walk back thinking about it. As far as you can go in the National League.
Another thing, too, is you have a lot of foul ground here. So you will have pop-ups caught that might land in the seats elsewhere. Strike. 1-1. Did we name our umpires? I don't believe so. Jerry Davis calling balls and strikes tonight. Two balls and a strike.
You're not going to give the other umpires any recognition?
Oh, maybe. Wally Bell's at first. Mike Winters at second. Eric Gregg at third. Look out. He was hit. What is there about the top of the lineup? Grissom walked last time. Now he's hit. The second batter hit by Munoz. Not a good guy to put on there either.
Grissom, the one guy in the lineup with some speed, the one guy that runs, and now first time around walk, this time hit by the pitch. Munoz tries to come up and in with a high hard one. Gets a little too far up and a little too far in and takes it off the Grissom takes it off the elbow. So he'll go down and discuss matters with Greg Jeffries at first.
Blauser. I think all opposing players are glad the Phillies have a new first baseman. Dave Hollins wouldn't talk to anybody.
No, you didn't get a whole lot of conversation.
Now Blauser was hit by a pitch his first time up there. Phillies call a pitch out. Marquise Grissom has stolen 17 bases. He's been caught stealing 5 times. Active career leaders percentage-wise, only 2 guys ahead of Marquise, and we're going to see Barry Larkin before this road trip's over. Phillies go to Cincy for the weekend.
Larkin currently leading the National League in stolen bases.
Pitch for a strike. 1-1 on Blauser. Bobby Munoz just making his 3rd start for the Phillies. That's Jimmy Williams, the 3rd base coach there. Ex-Phillies manager Pat Corrales is the Braves' first base coach. Blauser pops up. Charlie Hayes has a play in the coach's box. Blauser is the 2nd out of the inning. Fans here have started to pick on Blauser. I noticed it last night. He's giving him some hard times.
Yeah, Blauser, you mentioned the strikeouts. That'll grab the fans' ire a little bit. He seems to have become the whipping boy, and usually you don't have whipping boys on a club that's in first place.
It's true.
But it's happening here in Atlanta.
But of course, this being the year after the strike, a lot of people are whipping boys. Chipper Jones hit what appeared to be a double play grounder, sharply hit right back to Munoz, but the Phillies were able to get just 1 out. Got to say one thing about Munoz so far tonight. By and large, he has gone strike 1 on the hitters.
Other thing surprises me is with Munoz on the mound, Grissom has been on twice and has not made any attempt at all to steal second base.
Nor here either. Bobby taking a long pause there, trying to take the spring out of his step. But you're right, he hasn't even looked runnerish.
Well, and this is a perfect time to try to steal a base with 2 outs. Get yourself in scoring position where it doesn't take an extra base hit to score you from first base.
Curveball, that would have been a good one to run on. Obviously, Marquise not comfortable. Braves attendance has really picked up since the last time the Phillies were here. The Phillies were here early in the year when the 28-man rosters were still in effect. Jones swings through it. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Mentioned Grissom 17 stolen bases. Mike Kelly, part-time player now, 2nd on the club with only 7. So Grissom really represents the entire running game of the Atlanta Braves.
There he goes. Picked a good one to go on. He'll make it to 3rd base in a single by Chipper Jones. Atlanta's 2nd hit is Jones' single, and it's 1st and 3rd now with 2 outs.
Jones hits the ball sharply back up the middle. Grissom moving. Thing is, though, with 2 outs, he was going to go 1st to 3rd on that ball anyway, whether he's moving or not. Had he made an attempt to run earlier, he could have been in scoring position when Jones gets that base hit. So waits until Jones gets to 2 strikes and has to swing the bat before he takes off.
In steps Fred McGriff. 0 for 1, ground ball double play. Hit that ball to Duncan. Oh, look out. Braves lead it 1-0 on a home run by Justice. Nice catch by Dalton. That ball spun him around. It was so far out of the strike zone. 2 balls and no strikes.
Bobby throwing a lot of those slow off-speed breaking balls to McGriff. I think that's a carryover from last night's ball game. Sid Fernandez very successful with the slow hook, especially against McGriff.
There's a fastball, but that one missed, and now he's got a 3-0 count. David Justice on deck. Gets a light, 3-0. Sends a gapper to right field. 2-0 Atlanta. Here comes another guy for the plate. 3-0 Atlanta. Fred McGriff.
McGriff likes the fastball, and in 3 balls and no strikes, Bobby Cox giving him the green light to swing at one. See the fastball right here, belt high out over the plate, and McGriff just throws the big end of the bat right on and hammers it into the gap in right center field. That's about as hard as you can hit the ball. Fortunately for Munoz, he didn't get it up in the air, or else that's another run. But the Braves get 2 more on the board. Now lead 3-0. Kind of interesting that Cox gives McGriff the 3-0 light. That's not strange in itself, but the fact that 3-0 and Justice on deck, the guy who hit the home run the first time. So Bobby lets him swing, and it pays off for the Braves.
Here is Justice, 1 for 1. Round tripper hit it to the opposite field. Takes ball 1. Justice down the line and right. It is a foul ball to the bullpen. So McGriff has to return to second. McGriff now with 57 runs batted in. He leads the ball club in RBIs and long balls. Munoz trying to retire Justice to end it here in the 3rd. Good block by Dalton. 2 balls and a strike. Outside, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. A dangerous pitch coming up here. They've got the retired numbers of the ex-Braves players up here, as most ballparks do, and we noticed Dale Murphy's added to the group this year. Great to see Murph's number retired. Beautiful pitch for a strike. 3-2. There's Murph. Great player for the Braves. Had a couple of real good years with the Phillies too. Ended his career with the Colorado Rockies. The 3-2 pitch. Just a piece of it.
Mentioned Murph's number retired. The Atlanta Braves, or the Braves organization, I should say the Braves, because some of these guys were in Milwaukee. Pretty good group he's along with Warren Spahn, Eddie Matthews, Hank Aaron, and Phil Niekro, the only other Braves to have their numbers retired. That's pretty good company for Murph.
I mean, it sure is.
And he deserves to be there.
There's ball 4. Justice draws a walk. Second walk handed out by Munoz. Johnny Padres coming on out. Johnny probably wants him not to get too cute. Keep going after the hitters here. Maybe the bullpen phone is not working. Sid Fernandez is going down to the bullpen now. Obviously not to throw, but I don't think they could get a message down there yet. Toby's going to be the guard. We'll see who's going to get up.
They got him scurrying down there. Todd's on his way back to the dugout. Darren Dalton. It's like Mike Williams, grabbing the glove. So Mike's going to start throwing. Talked earlier about the importance of Bobby Munoz, getting his act together. Phil's going to need contributors all the way up and down the roster, especially from the starting pitchers. The bullpen's doing a pretty good job, but the starting pitchers have to get the game to them in good shape, and that hasn't happened often enough recently.
Klesko, the hitter, fouls it off. Klesko flied out to center, his only at bat in this game. You trace, talking about the Braves, and you mentioned Milwaukee. If you trace it back one more step, of course, they were the Boston Braves. And I don't have a
None of them are retired, though. None of those numbers are retired.
Did Warren Spahn not play for the Boston Braves?
Oh.
I kind of think he did.
He did.
I don't have a book to look it up in, but I kind of think he did.
I'll do a little research here real quick. See if I can come up with an answer for it. Is that like a trivia question?
No, that's real.
No, that's a real question. That's
yeah.
not a trivia question. Okay.
Breaking ball for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Klesko. 3-11 with runners in scoring position, and even higher since June 6th. In the air to left field, down the line, and a foul ball. Brian Klesko, 24 years of age. Atlanta's 6th round draft choice in '89. That's it. That takes care of the inning. A strikeout and Klesko is gone. Strikeout number 3 for Munoz, but the Braves add a pair. They do so on 2 hits, and they leave 2 aboard. It's 3-0 Atlanta.
Stars, how about joining Ashburn, Boa, Lazinski, Jim Fregosi, and players that have made Phillies history this February at Phillies Dream Week. It's a full week in Clearwater, Florida, living, learning, and laughing alongside the stars in your own Phillies uniform, and you can take up to 4 years to pay. To reserve your space, call 215-938-1200. That's 215-938-1200, but you better call now because Phillies Dream Week is filling up fast.
But they'll always have space for you, Teakwood, as the skies here don't look any too friendly right now. Not friendly at all. We head into the 4th inning. It's 3-0 Atlanta. Mariano Duncan will be leading it off for the Phillies. He was called out on strikes first time up there tonight.
In answer to your question, by the way, went through the Atlanta media guide, could not find the answer, so I went to the best source in the world. Went next door to Whitey Ashburn. He said, yes, Warren Spahn did play with the Boston Braves in 1942. His first year with the Braves. So there's your answer.
There it is.
So there's a Boston/Milwaukee Brave, 2 more Milwaukee Braves, 2 Atlanta Braves. There's Phil playing in Milwaukee too. Phil may have played in Milwaukee. He might have come down here with a team.
Eddie Matthews certainly played both spots, right?
Yeah, he came down here. That's right. Woo.
Hank Aaron did.
Got numbers retired in 2 different cities with the same team.
Hank Aaron. Here's a ball hit to left field. Extra bases for Duncan. He's on his way to second. Second time in the ball game, the Phillies have had a leadoff double. They had it in the 2nd inning when Charlie Hayes hit one, and the Phillies were not able to move him off second.
Duncan likes to hit left-handed pitchers. Merker with that breaking ball this time. Got Duncan on the inside fastball last time. Leaves the breaking ball out in the middle of the plate. Duncan slaps it into left center field for a double. So didn't work so well when Charlie Hayes led off the second with the double, so Duncan says we'll try it again. It's a good program.
Here's Darren Dalton. Popped up to the second baseman Lemke first time. Starting to talk about Hank Aaron. He went back and played in Milwaukee again.
Yeah.
In the American League for the Brewers.
So the Brewers finished up his career there.
And Hank is with this organization as a vice president. Dalton, another fly ball back to third. This time Chipper Jones. And look at it, drops in. Ball is in play. Duncan had to hold tight. Jones had the call all the way, and then Blauser called him off, but neither one of them caught it.
Jones is camped under this ball, calling it away. I've got it, I got it, I got it, I got it. Blauser at the last second calls him off of it, and then does not handle the baseball. Darren Dalton's job was to move Duncan to third by getting the ball to the right field side of the infield, right side of the infield. Didn't do that. Should have been a complete failure, but it was not because of the fact that Blauser dropped the baseball.
Charlie Hayes will bat with 2 on. They're charging Blauser with an error.
I guess so. Ball hit him in the forearm.
Here's a ball into shallow center. This is not going to move any runners. Grissom will make this play, and that's the first out of the inning. Charlie Hayes goes on 1 pitch. Talking about errors, the Braves have the best fielding percentage in the league, tied for the league lead with a .984 fielding percentage. And they've committed the second fewest number of errors in the league. So by and large, to go with their good pitching, they catch the ball, and that's important.
And that play right there, really just a mental mistake by Jeff Blauser. Chipper Jones camped under that ball all the way. It's not like it was a difficult play for him. He's there. No reason for Blauser to come all the way over and call him off of that one.
Tom Marsh struck out his first at bat. Ball hit out into right field. Justice giving chase, coming hard. Can't make the play. He was really coming. Good effort by David Justice. He was the only guy who could have a shot at it, and he really was pumping.
Well, you mentioned earlier how much room there is in foul territory. Justice all out. See the arms pumping. Gives it a good run, but just so much room over there, not able to catch up to it. Justice shades Marsh a little bit toward right field, so he was over close to that area, but just not able to get to the baseball.
That's a strike.
That's a perfect strike. Knee high on the black. Tom did exactly what you should do with those. Take them, because you can't hit them. Unless you've got 2 strikes. No use trying to hit that pitch.
Jammed him a little bit, and that ball results in a foul. It's no balls and 2 strikes on Tom. Until tonight, Marsh had never faced Kent Mercker. Phillies have the tying run at the plate in this ball game. They're trailing the Braves 3-0 here in the 4th. Phillies on this road trip are playing game number 5. They have 1 win and 3 losses on the trip. But overall, the Phillies have won 5 of their last 8 games. Young man dropped it, didn't he?
Bad hands. A lot of that going on this inning. He's been watching Blauser too long.
Inside. 1-2. Bobby Cox. Second tenure of duty here for Bobby. This is his 5th year around this time. He was also here in 78 through 81. Overall, with Toronto included, this is his 14th year of management. Strikeout number 4 for Mercker, second out of the inning. Tommy Marsh, a victim twice.
The hard Mercker fastball. We saw the one earlier in the count where he threw it away, this time down and in, possibly out of the strike zone, but in fact probably out of the strike zone. With 2 strikes, Marsh has to try to protect. That's a tough combination when a guy can throw a hard fastball and he moves it outside, inside, outside, inside. You really don't get a good line on it.
Tony Longmire, the batter. It's high a ball. Tony fly to left field, first time up. Well, the Phillies led off 2 innings now with a double. And in the second inning, they couldn't advance the runner. And so far this inning, they have not advanced Duncan. 2-0.
See Merker much more effective against left-handed hitters.
Three balls and no strikes. Not this particular left-handed hitter, at least not in this at bat anyway.
Was a right-handed swinging Kevin Elster on deck. So if Longmire can work his way on, at least the numbers as Merker has put him up this year will reverse a little bit in Philly's favor.
Strike. 3-1. Walked in. For the second night in a row, Kevin Elster is going to bat with the bases loaded. And last night it was also the 4th inning. That's the first walk issued by Merker. So a double, an error, and a walk have loaded them for Kevin Elster. Elster grounded to short, first time up, Teague.
Last night the situation when Longmire was hitting was first and third and 2 outs, walked him on 4 pitches. This time first and second, 3 balls and no strikes, threw him a breaking ball on 3-0 and a breaking ball on 3-1. So it appears as if the game plan of the Atlanta Braves is, if you're in trouble, let's get by Longmire and get to Elster. Last night it backfired on him. Problem being, when you get in this situation, obviously with the bases loaded, you can't be quite as particular about how you pitch to Elster. You have to throw him strikes.
Phillies with the tying runs on base, down 3-0, 4th inning. Now Elster thought that pitch was low. It's called a strike. So now no selectivity whatsoever. It's 0-2 on it. Watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 3 men left. Braves lead it 3-0. Well, here it comes. This is it, the final midweek, midday, final ball game of the year, which we call a business person special. It continues. The Pride of the Phillies poster series coming up, free for all fans, on Monday the 14th, when the Phillies meet the Expos at 105. Bound to be a great day, great baseball, and a great gift for all fans. Order tickets easily by phone. Call 463-1000 or stop by the Center City ticket office at Mellon PSFS, Broad and Chestnut Streets. Well, Phillies leave them loaded, so the Braves continue up top 3-0. And now the bottom third of their batting order here. Lopez, Lemke, and Merker in the last of the 4th. Bottom third of the order has not done anything tonight. Lopez struck out, Lemke flied to left, and Merker struck out. First time up. New life for Bobby Munoz. He had bullpen activity off to his right there when he was working in the 3rd inning. Mike Williams had been up. Little tapper, it goes foul. Lopez started to get out of the box, figuring it might stay fair. Lopez at the moment batting .304. He's bidding to become the first Braves catcher to hit 300 since Joe Torre did it back in 1966. Torre hit .315. High chopper off the plate. Speaking of Joe Torre, we saw Joe at the Albany airport when we were leaving Cooperstown the other night. Joe has a good friend of his here in Atlanta. He was flying in to see him. So we enjoyed a nice visit with Joe, who says he's moving to Cincinnati.
He is.
Yep. Wife has relatives there. Back to the mound. Bobby Munoz can't play it. Charlie Hayes bare hands, base hit. Well, Bobby Munoz has hurt himself as a fielder tonight. He had a chance at a double play ground ball, and he had a chance to field that one.
This ball not sharply hit at all. Munoz just kind of nonchalantly reaches for it. You see right here, it's right there, just a very casual grab for it. Ball goes off the end of his glove. Charlie tries to barehand it and get it over to first, but Lopez across the bag. It's kind of a nonchalant throw to second that he threw low to Elster, and now this ball here to his backhand. Not a routine easy play, but a play that should be made.
And that's why they've scored it an error. The hitter is Lemke. Lemke flied out to left field, which means that he is 0 for 25. Phillies infield looking for a double play here. Low again, 2 balls and no strikes. Well, the Braves have not been retired in order. The Phillies went down in order only once in the ballgame. So even though it's only 3-0, there have been a lot of base runners out there tonight, and the pitchers have worked most of the time from the stretch. In the air to left center field. Tommy Marsh can't get it. Ball rolls between them. Lopez is being sent around. Over to third base goes Lemke, and the Braves lead it 4-0. RBI triple for Lemke, Teak.
And a strange play in the outfield by the Phillies. Tommy Marsh cuts over into the gap. We'll see the ball come off Lemke's bat into left center field. Now watch where Tony Longmire is. Marsh is going over into the gap to try to make the play. Tony's in front of him. If one of them calls the ball, the other player should go behind to make the play. Tommy makes the dive. Tony well out in front of him, and then Tommy has to get back to his feet and retrieve the ball out in left center field. So Marsh tries to make the play, can't. The Longmire in front of Marsh.
With the infield in, Merker is batting ahead in the game 4-0. How about that for breaking an 0 for 25 with an RBI triple? So Lemke's out of breath, but he's happy.
Some very sloppy play defensively tonight, both sides.
Merker struck out first time up, has a chance to knock in yet another run here. Little chopper. Runner doesn't go. Charlie Hayes cuts it off and throws him out. So Merker is retired for the first out of the inning. Marquise Grissom will bat now. It's 4-0 Atlanta. Marquise tonight has not been retired. He has walked, been hit by a pitch, and scored a run. Some umbrellas are going up here at the ballpark, I regret to say. People are scurrying from their seats, and the skies above do indeed look very dark.
Phillies defensively keep the infield up with Grissom at the plate.
Ball and a strike on Marquise. A little high, 2 balls and 1 strike. Breaking ball has missed. It's 3-1 now. Phillies have bullpen action again.
Mike Williams, the right-hander, up. Throwing. Should not take long to get ready. He was throwing last inning.
In the air to center, plenty deep, plenty deep. And the ball is caught at the fence. Tagging and scoring is Lemke. It's 5-0 Atlanta. Grissom nearly rode it out, but no, it's caught. He picks up his 29th run batted in.
Grissom hit the ball to the deepest part of the ballpark. Straightaway center field. Anywhere else and it does go out, but fortunately it's kind of a good news bad news scenario. It stays in, we get the out, but the run scores.
Jeff Blauser now, bases empty and 2 away. He takes ball 1. Jeff's been hit by a pitch and fouled out to Charlie Hayes. So the Braves do what you're supposed to do when you get a lead. They've added to it. This is the 3rd inning in a row in which they have scored. Ball 2, 2-0. Bobby Munoz scheduled to lead off for the Phillies in the 5th inning. Strike, it's 2-1. Blauser 0 for 9 as he stands up there. A couple of other Braves have ended offers tonight. Most notably Lemke was 0 for 25 when he tripled. Ball 3. It's 3 balls and a strike on Blauser. Blauser was not signed until after the teams went back to work in spring training. Jeff Blauser is not in the Atlanta media guide this year. It's a foul ball. Blauser was right on that one. Still 3-2 on Blauser, the Braves shortstop. Fouled away. They've got a steady little infielder in here that they can plug in when somebody goes down. I'm talking about Rafael Belliard. He's no home run threat, Teak, but he can play the infield. 1 lifetime home run. There's Rafi.
Never misses a ground ball, though.
Hard hit ground ball. Charlie Hayes can't get it. It's a fair ball. Blauser gets a base hit. Infield single for Jeff Blauser. Hit number 5 for the Atlanta Braves in this ball game. Jim Fragosi's coming out. He's going to make a double switch.
Ball to the backhand. Charlie does a nice job just to knock it down. If that ball gets by Charlie, Eric Gregg signaling fair. If that ball gets by Charlie into the corner, it's a double with 2 outs. Able to keep Blauser to a single. Jim Fregosi on his way to the mound. And bring Mike Williams in.
And Mickey Morandini with Duncan switching over to play shortstop. Kevin Elster leaves the ball game. So Morandini comes on for the Phillies, who trail it by a 5-0 score here as Mike Williams takes over. Pitching change here in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. We'll be right back. Who started at second base will now be the shortstop. Mickey Morandini comes on just in time to get wet. And so does Mike Williams. The rain starts to fall hard here as Mike takes over the hill. Making his 20th appearance of the year. 3 have been starts, the others in relief. He's 0-2 and a 3.89 earned run average for Mike Williams, who's been up and down on a couple of occasions.
The rain is coming down. The wind is picking up.
And Chipper Jones is standing in the box. Chipper Jones 1 for 2 in the ball game, a single. Jones hit what appeared to be a double play back to Munoz. Bobby couldn't handle it. The Phillies did get an out, and then later did get a double play ground ball, so they weren't hurt by that lapse. Then he singled and scored last time up. Williams misses with a breaking ball, 2-0. Oh, the papers are really blowing around this ballpark. Chipper Jones gets into it. It's in play. Coming around third base is Blauser. It is a 6-0 Braves lead. Chipper Jones with a double off the wall.
Hitters count again. Chipper Jones heading to count 2 balls and no strikes. He gets that fastball out over the plate. Gallagher goes back, so realizes he can't make the play, tries to corral it with the bare hand off the wall, and then he and Tommy Marsh run together a little bit, but by the time they get it back in, Blauser's all the way around. He's on the board.
In steps Fred McGriff. He doubled home 2 the last time he batted. Popped him up. The wind is going to play tricks with this. Morandini. Oh, that was not an easy play. So the Braves have a big inning here, though. They played 3, their biggest inning so far in this ball game. 3 hits. There was an error, and 1 man left on base. The Braves lead it 6-0. Well, the Braves have forged in front 6-0. It doesn't look like it's raining at all at the moment. We are under the threat of rain here at the ballpark, but the game continues into the 5th inning. And under the double change by manager Jim Fregosi, Mickey Morandini will be batting. Obviously, it is still raining. When you see that shot there, you can tell the rain is still coming down, at least to some degree. Morandini batting at .281, 5 homers, 35 RBIs for Mickey. And he's batting out of the number 9 spot. Merker gets it in for a strike.
Rain is picking up again. You have to remember, this game is not an official ball game until the Phillies finish batting here in the top of the 5th inning.
The forecast here, though, is not for continual rain. I mean, I don't think that, like, that hurricane is coming in and going to stay here. So I think we've got a shower, and if anything, play would be picked up if we have to hold it. Morandini is called out on strikes. That's the 6th strikeout for Kent Merker. Gallagher will be the batter. Gallagher has grounded to third and fly to right. Maybe Merker lost the grip on that when you see the rain like we have here and you give the pitcher the benefit of the doubt. I think Galley's going to take a few here. I think I would if I were he.
Well, once that baseball gets wet, very difficult to hold on to it. Eric Gregg, the crew chief this year, so it's his responsibility to make the decision whether to continue the play or to halt play and put the tarp on the field.
Ball 4. So Gallagher draws a walk. It's only the 2nd issued by Merker. I don't know about you, Teak, but I'm having trouble keeping my scorecard dry. It's blowing in here like crazy. And my pen is blurring.
Well, we were talking about before that the wind was swirling in Fulton County Stadium. Now the rain is swirling.
Greg Jeffries steps in. Jeffries has singled and grounded to third. Takes a strike. Well, they always like to sprinkle the infield halfway through the ball game. They won't have to worry about that tonight.
They don't have to worry about keeping the dust down. It's down.
Jeffries gets jammed, hits the ball hard into the right field corner. It's a fair ball. How about that? Gallagher is being held at third base. It's a double by Jeffries. He hit that ball awfully hard for a ball that was riding in on him and jamming him. And that's hit number 4.
And normally a right-handed hitter that hits a ball down the right field line like that, it will slice. See right here, Jeffries kind of hesitates a little bit at the plate. He thinks that ball's going to slice foul, but it could be the fact that the bat is wet. It could be the fact that the ball is wet. Didn't put as much spin on it, and it actually stayed in fair territory, just tucked into the corner. So Jeffries goes into second, Gallagher to third.
Shortstop Mariano Duncan 1 for 2, a double. And Duncan tries the same technique, but this one will be foul. Tough to catch a baseball while holding an umbrella.
Yeah, you have to try to fend it off with your umbrella.
Phillies trailing this ball game 6-0. Would really like to get something out of this 5th inning situation. Popped up, foul, out of play. No balls and 2 strikes on Duncan. There's 1 out in the inning.
When you're playing in rain like this, 2 people very concerned, the pitcher and the hitter. Pitcher trying to keep the ball dry so they can get a good grip on it. The hitter trying to keep the handle of that bat dry. Hitters can use pine tar, pitchers can't.
Hit deep to left field, way back. Caught. Tagging at third base is Gallagher. He's going to score. The Phillies are on the board, but the Braves get an out. A sacrifice fly run batted in for Mariano Duncan, his 23rd run batted in. Under these conditions, I think that's probably okay with the Braves.
Oh yeah, they'll trade an out for a run at this point in time. When that ball came off Duncan's bat, I thought it had a chance. The ball off Justice's bat carried well to left field. You see Klesko not only having to run into the corner, but fight off the raindrops as he did it.
And the intensity of the rain has lessened again. Here's Darren Dalton 0 for 2. He's popped up and reached on an error. Probably why Eric Gregg decided to play through this. You know, the umpires get information on the weather from the home team and probably heard the little squall was blowing through. Teak probably called the airport just like we do in Philadelphia.
Yeah, always call the airport. Of course, you're not playing at the airport, but you call the airport anyway to get the weather forecast.
Sometimes we'd like to be playing at the airport when it's not raining there and it is at the vet. Strike, 1-1.
So as you mentioned, I wonder if the weather reports change any when the home team's giving them to the umpires and the home team's up by 6 runs.
The answer to that is yes.
May not tell a lie, but might bend the truth just a little bit.
Just shade it a bit. 2-1 on Dalton. Phillies trail the ball game 6-1. Three balls and a strike on Darren Dalton.
Now it appears as if the rain has stopped completely.
And some fans even making their way back to their seats here at the ballpark. Fouled it off, and now it's a full count on Darren. Just a little dust settler on August 2nd. It's not a rainy night in Georgia. Just looked like that for about 15 minutes. Gets another piece. Kent Mercker doing what all starting pitchers have to do to get a win, and that is get the last out of the 5th inning. Look out. Dalton almost got hit. He takes a walk. Second batter walked in the inning by Mercker. Third walk of the night.
Either way, Dalton's going to be on first base. The walk, the less painful way.
Yeah, look
up around the shoulder and the head.
Yeah, judging by where that ball was coming, I think he got on the right way.
I think that's the way to do it.
Charlie Hayes, he has doubled and flied to center. 2 on, 2 out.
You do it that way, you don't have to visit the trainer.
Yeah. Charlie, fooled by that pitch, swings through it. Think it's safe to reclaim our territory here, Teak?
No, I'll reserve judgment for a second.
Look out. Merker's limbering up a few here this inning. Not caught by Lopez, but doesn't roll very far, so no advance. A 2-1 count on Charlie Hayes.
Merker still with a problem as far as, the baseball is dry now, but anywhere that he touches on his uniform, if he takes his pitching hand, he touches his hat, anywhere on his shirt, pants, anywhere, he's going to get his hand wet again. So you have to be real careful once you get that hand dry, not to go to your hat or your shirt. Try to keep it dry so you can hold on to the baseball.
High fly ball out into left field. Klesko has the play. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Phillies get a run, 1 hit, and 2 men left on base. It's a 6-1 Braves lead. Game should we get more rain and that become a factor, but as of the moment we're happy to say it's not raining. And here is David Justice to lead off the Braves' 5th inning. He has homered and walked. His home run was the first run of the ball game tonight. That came in the bottom of the 2nd. Number 13 for Justice. The team leader is McGriff with 15. Chipper Jones has 14. So they don't have a runaway leader, but those 3 guys we just mentioned are the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. And the number 6 hitter Klesko has a dozen himself. And Blauser has 10 as your number 2 hitter, and Grissom, your leadoff hitter, has 9. So they all hit home runs. Two balls and a strike.
Which is probably even more dangerous than having one guy that's got 30, because it's spread out through the entire lineup.
Yeah, one guy you can work around if it comes to crunch time, hopefully.
You can try to at least.
Yeah. In theory, it sounds good. Sometimes,
in the situation when you're facing the Braves, you get in the middle of that lineup, anywhere from Blauser on down. There's really not a whole lot of dodging the bullets, because the next guy's going to have about the same amount of power.
Lemke, the only guy that hasn't hit many. And we've seen him hit a few in his day, but he's not really a home run hitter. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Justice. Mike Williams on the hill for the Phillies now, taking over for Bobby Munoz, who started and won 3 2/3 innings. The last run was scored after Munoz left, but it was his run. Full count on Justice. Solidly hit. Longmire there to play it, though. Justice lines out to Longmire. First out.
Justice hits the ball right on the button, but Tony Longmire playing him in exactly the right spot. Had to move about a half a step, is all.
Ryan Klesko gets in. Klesko has flied to center and struck out. Well, those Cubs are at it again. They have a 3-1 lead over Pittsburgh in the 7th inning. And the Cincies have gone ahead of the Mets now 4-2 in the 6th. We'll be in Cincinnati this weekend. How about that acquisition of David Wells? Certainly has to help the Reds pitching staff, and that staff was in need of some help.
Jose Rio down with the injury. Reds, of course, atop the Central Division.
They acquired Mark Portugal, but he hasn't done very well for them so far.
Well, he struggled. In fact, this time around, he's going to get a couple extra days rest. Davey Johnson trying to find a way to get Portugal on track.
Yeah, Portugal's going to face Quantrill on Saturday night. Foul out of play. The Phillies are going to see both guys that the Reds got from the Giants in that trade for Deion Sanders. They're going to see Dave Burba on Friday night. And then Sunday they're going to face Pete Shurik, and what a pickup he's been for the Reds. The ex-Met, who was just flat out released by New York, has come on to be a very, very effective pitcher for Cincinnati. Ground ball. Morandini was on him in a hurry. Plays to Jeffries for the out. There are 2 down. Javier Lopez coming up with the bases empty and 2 out. Lopez 0 for 2 in the ball game. He is struck out, reached on an error by Munoz, and scored a run. Long relief. Somebody's got to do it on every staff, and right now Williams does it and Michael Mims does it. It's not an enviable task because your job is to come in and kind of hold things where they are.
They usually get in ball games that are, a little bit lopsided. This one's 6-1. Tried to restore some sanity to the ball game. Break the momentum. Of course, the other team in a position, the Braves tonight with the 6 runs, they're up there pretty much free swinging at the plate, can do what they want to. So a very difficult job, but the other job, as you mentioned, it must be done.
Chased it. Lopez is tagged out. That'll be a strikeout for Williams and the final out of the inning. So the Braves have gone in order for the first time tonight. At the end of 5, they lead the Phillies 6-1. Sunday, August 13th, the Phillies meet the Montreal Expos at 1:35, and it's Backpack Day, a very special gift for all fans 14 and under. A backpack with all kinds of special compartments for stashing your material. It's in vibrant red with the Phillies logo. Great baseball on tap as well, and this free gift goes to all fans 14 and under. Make plans now to come out. Order tickets easily by phone. Call 463-1000. Or stop by the Center City ticket office at Mellon, PSFS, Broad and Chestnut Streets. The Vendors working hard here, and right now the Braves hold a 6-1 lead over the Phillies. It's the 6th inning. Tommy Marsh has had a tough night. He struck out both times he's been up there. Picks on this pitch, deposits it out in center, but there is Mark. Keith Grissom. He plays kind of shallow to begin with, and he just kind of glides after balls like that. Marsh retired, 1 out.
Just remember earlier the double switch. Mike Williams now in the 8th position in the lineup, so he's the 3rd hitter this inning. Michael Mims up in the Phillies bullpen. Well, I'm sure we're going to see a hitter for Williams. Mark Whitten has moved out into the on-deck circle.
Longmire has flied to left and walked in the ball game. Michael Mims tuning up. Longmire facing all kinds of pitching these days, in there on an everyday basis. Fouled away, and of course, if you joined us late, the Phillies found out today that they will be without Lenny Dykstra for the rest of the year. He had arthroscopic surgery on his right knee today. It was not a serious procedure, but he will be sidelined for the remainder of this year.
Serious enough.
Well, this year doesn't have all that long to go when you think about injuries of that kind. What a stop by McGriff, but nobody covering. Merker did not get off the hill, and he hears it from the local fans. A mistake by Merker, and that gives Longmire an infield hit.
Merker claiming that he thinks it's a foul ball at the plate. Trying to cover up for the fact that it didn't cover first base.
Good excuse, huh? Supposed to get over there anyway.
Didn't work, that's right.
Even if it is foul, go ahead and go over.
Cover the bag and then worry about it later.
Mark Whitten is going to bat for the Phillies.
Ball out of the box. Tony doesn't hesitate at all. Great play by McGriff, stretching all the way out comes up looking for Merker, and that disgusted look. You go out and you dive and you make a great play for your pitcher, and then all of a sudden he's not covering first base.
Here's Witten batting .154 since he was acquired from the Boston Red Sox for Dave Hollins.
So just another defensive mistake to add to the litany of them that have happened this evening.
Hit number 5 for the Phillies.
Look at the scoreboard, only 1 error for each side, but a lot more defensive lapses than that in the ball game.
Witten gets a base hit. Pinch single for Mark Witten. Longmire stops at second base. So the hit column, believe it or not, is all even. Each team with 6 hits, but somehow the Braves have a 6-1 lead. Here's Morandini batting out of the 9th hole. Mickey has had only 1 at bat tonight. He has struck out.
That strikeout in the top of the 5th inning, leading it off, is a 3-pitcher in the raindrops. Braves now getting some action in their bullpen. Greg McMichael down there. And Leo Mazzoni, the pitching coach, on his way to the mound. They have a discussion with Merker. So the Phillies score a run in the 5th inning and had some pressure on. Ended up leaving a couple men on. Left the bases loaded in the 4th. 2 more base runners here. So have been able to get pressure on Merker. Just haven't been able to push a whole lot of them across the plate yet.
Well, Merker causing his own problem here by his failure to cover first base. Two on for the Phils, only 1 out here in the 6th. And Morandini, who did not start the ball game but came on in the 4th inning, gets his 2nd at bat right here. Out of play. One ball, 1 strike on Mickey. Well, Michael Mims will be in to face the Braves in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Mims got his first major league victory in this ballpark against Atlanta on the Phillies' first visit here. In the air to center. Grissom shaded the other way. It's over his head. 2 runs are going to score. Mickey goes to second with a 2-run double. It's a 6-3 ball game.
Marquise Grissom has always been known to play a shallow center field. He's got the good speed. He goes back well. And by playing shallow, able to cut off a lot of those balls dunked over the infield. This time, though, Morandini gets a lot of it, and he drives it all the way over Grissom's head. You see Grissom not even anywhere near the track yet by the time that ball comes down. So Grissom gets burnt playing the shallow center field. Bobby Cox is on his way to the mound, and that'll be all for Kent Merker.
Calling on McMichael for the 2nd night in a row. He brought him in last night in the 7th inning of the ball game. Merker goes 5 1/3 tonight, and the rest of it will be in the hands of the capable and deep Atlanta bullpen. We have a pitching change. 6-3 Atlanta. Will be right back. Merker out of the ball game now. He still leads it, however, 6-3. And 28-year-old Greg McMichael now takes over the hill for the Braves. McMichael, as we mentioned, pitched in last night's ball game. He's been in 38 for Atlanta, winning 5, losing 1, no saves, a 3.72 ERA for him.
You almost get the feeling with with Merker, when he didn't cover first base, that mentally he just kind of shut down after getting through the 5th inning in the rain. Just a little bit of a mental shutdown.
Gallagher takes a called strike. I know what you mean, because he was not effective at all after that. Gallagher has grounded out and flied out and drawn a walk. Gallagher scored the first Phillies run back in the 5th inning. McMichael comes in throwing strikes. He has a palm ball changeup. He's never beaten the Phillies. He's 0-2 lifetime against the Phillies. Plus, he lost a game to them in the League Championship Series of '93. He lost the first game in the 10th inning on a single by Kim Batiste. Inside. Still only one out here in the Phillies' 6th as they battle back. They were down 6-0. They've cut it in half. Down the line and right. Justice back to play it. He does so, tagging at second base. Morandini, he makes it to third. 2 outs in the inning. Greg Jeffries comes up now. Jeffries 2 out of 3 tonight, single and double. A 2-out hit here would plate the 4th run and really get the Phillies within hailing distance.
Exactly right, because then if you get it down to a 2-run deficit every time you get a runner on, whether it be a walk, a hit, an error, whatever, the tying run comes to the plate. And of course, Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium, known as the launching pad, one of the easier ballparks to get the ball out of.
Just missed. Last year it was thought that McMichael might turn into be a pretty good closer. He had 21 saves last year, but he also blew 10 saves. 2-0.
Well, it seems like they've gone year by year by year down here trying to find who's going to be the closer. Kind of piecing it together. Bobby Cox does, but he's made a decision now. Mark Wohlers is his man.
Strike call. Yeah, Wohlers seems to have really grown into it this year. Left-hander Pedro Borbon is up in the Atlanta bullpen now. He also was in last night's ball game, and so was Klontz. We'll probably be seeing him later. There's Pedro.
He's the only left-hander in the Braves bullpen, Borbon.
Yeah, they had another one, Mike Stanton, but just before the trading deadline, they traded him to the Red Sox for some prospects. And taking his place in the bullpen is a right-hander, Rod Nichols. 3-1 pitch. Jeffries taps it foul. It's full count. McMichael with runners in scoring position right up near the top of the lead with inherent runners, I should say. Inherited runners.
That's the percentage that he leaves out on base.
And that's what you're striving to do. Now here's a ground ball that came into play for the Phillies tonight. We mentioned that all the runs scored by the Braves are charged to the starter Munoz, but one of them scored with Mike Williams on the hill, so that was an inherited runner that he allowed to score.
Well, it'd be nice if Jeffries can lower that percentage just a little bit.
Back through the middle. It's going to be a run. Safe. Phillies get a run. It's a 6-4 ball game. And the pitchers are having trouble making the fielding plays tonight. That's another one that might have been played by McMichael. It scored a hit.
Yeah, it's a hit, and it was sharply hit. Jeffries hits the ball right back up the middle. McMichael kind of tries to, instead of turning his glove over and getting underneath the ball, tries to take his glove down on it. Kind of slows it down. Blauser not able to make the play at shortstop. It's hard, though, when you're standing there off balance to be able to think about which direction you want your glove to go. You just want to get near the ball and knock it down. McMichael's not able to.
Duncan takes a pitch high. Well, now the Phillies have out hit the Braves 8-6, still trailed by 2, but as you suggested, they've got the tying run up there now. Mariano Duncan has struck out, doubled, and hit a sacrifice fly.
And that was a big run.
Bouncing ball hit to Chipper Jones, plays it on a high hop and makes the play. Nice play by Chipper Jones. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Phillies get 3 runs. They do so on 4 hits, leave 1 on base, and it's a 6-4 Braves. Phillies have tightened it up. Pinch hitter Mark Whitten remains in the ball game. He's going to play in right field now. Taking over the hill will be Michael Mims. Mims will be batting in Dave Gallagher's spot. It's a 6-4 ball game at this point. Mims, as we mentioned, won his first major league game as a starter in this ballpark. Michael is 7-5, 4.32 earned run average. Tonight marks his 19th appearance. 16 of those appearances have been as a starter. He has one complete game shutout. Lemke to lead it off. And they've got Oliva out on the on-deck circle to pinch hit. Jose Oliva is the pinch hitter. Oliva's going to bat for McMichael. Lemke broke an 0 for 25 with an RBI triple the last time he batted. High bounder down the third base side, a foul ball. Braves have Clance up in the bullpen, so I would imagine he'll be facing the Phillies in the 7th inning. That's a funny way to throw, isn't it, Teak, the way he's throwing?
Yeah, I know. I can't understand why anybody would do that.
Looks unnatural. Now watch him. Now what would you say about a guy that has this kind of throwing motion?
I'd never get anybody out in the big leagues throwing like that.
Can't imagine how he got here.
Can't do that. Can't do it.
Might there be somebody out there who doesn't know what we're kidding about? Here's a ball hit in the air to shallow left, coming on Longmire. For very, very young fans, I guess we ought to explain. Kent Tekulve threw like that, and I'm just getting in his kitchen a little bit.
No, that's kitchen's been in before.
Jose Oliva, third baseman, coming up to bat for the Braves as a pinch hitter, batting 155. 5 home runs, 12 RBIs. He's not been a very good pinch hitter, just 2 for 18. Chased one. Michael Mims got him to go way out of the strike zone. 6-4. The Braves lead it. Phillies had been down 6-0. So the Braves momentum has absolutely been halted. And the Phillies in their bullpen, and you have to say in all honesty, Teak, they have a decent bullpen, but it's not rated anywhere near their starters.
You mean Braves?
Braves, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Braves have a, get into their bullpen. You figure that's what you want to do.
Well, that's the game plan when you play the Atlanta Braves. If you can somehow, some way figure out how to get rid of the starting pitcher and get to the bullpen as soon as possible. And, really in this ball game right now, Phillies have, giving up the 6 runs early, have done it rather quickly, getting Merker out of there and getting into the bullpen.
Oliva draws a walk. First batter walked by Mims. Third walk given up by Phil's pitching tonight. 2 batters have also been hit. Marquise Grissom. He does not have an official at bat in this ball game. He has walked, been hit by a pitch, and knocked in a run on a sacrifice fly. There's a strike. Little inside, 1 ball and 1 strike on Marquise Grissom. Grissom is officially 0 for 10 and just 5 for his last 33. But as mentioned, being walked and being hit by a pitch and getting a sac fly, he's had his influence. And caught by Duncan. Screaming liner, and that's what happens when you're in an 0 for. Those kind of balls are caught. 2 outs.
Grissom hit that ball. I mean, that was a rocket right there, but Duncan in the right spot, able to get the glove up, See Duncan in the picture. This ball doesn't get much more than head high to Dunkey. Just one step and a leap. He's got it. So that ball was ticketed for the gap in left center field. Duncan cuts it off.
Blauser takes a strike.
It's important for the Phillies to get out of this inning now, having scored 4 runs in the last couple innings. And as you mentioned, reclaiming some of the momentum. Want to get out right away and get back to bat with that good feeling on your side. And of course now the Braves on the other side have to be sitting there going, these guys have beaten us 5 games in a row. We had a 6-0 lead. It's now 6-4. We're in our own house. What's going on here? So a little bit of a doubt. The Phillies closing the gap a little bit.
Yeah, that does creep into your mind, no doubt about it. Bounces up there. What a great stop, Dalton. You know, he's so good at that now. You see very few balls get by Dalton.
It feels him almost like a shortstop.
Yeah.
There you go. Most catchers are just throwing their body in front of him, just trying to slam it back into the ground. But Dutch not only gets his body in a position where he can keep the ball in front of him, but actually, picks so many of those with the glove. No chance for the ball to even bounce away a little bit to one side or the other, where the runner on first can try to move up a base.
Now it's 2-2 on Blauser. Blauser's hit last time up, broken 0 for 9 for him. Ball 3. That'll give the runner Oliva a chance to take off here. 2 outs in the inning.
Since Oliva is going to get the running start at first base, Greg Jeffries, who was holding him on, now moves behind. Just a little, since he's going to get a good start anyway, you might as well just move back at first base and cut down as much ground as you can. Make yourself as good a fielder as possible.
Got him. Blauser strikes out. Michael Mims gets a key strikeout. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No runs, no hits, 1 man left on base. We're going to the 7th, and it's 6-4. Let's check out some National League action right now for you. Cincinnati leading New York 5-2. They're in the 6th inning. Chicago 3-1 over Pittsburgh. 7th inning, it's a 4-4 tie up in Montreal between the Marlins and the Expos. Cardinals 1-0 over Houston in the 3rd. And the Dodgers again leading the Rockies there in the 1st inning, and Dodgers play those guys real well. Here it's 6-4 Atlanta. We're going to the 7th, and the new Braves pitcher is Brad Clontz. Darren Dalton, the first guy to square off against him, and he takes ball 1. Clontz coming into his 34th ball game. 7-1, 3.05 ERA and 4 saves. Dalton hits one in the air to left field. A play for Klesko. Dalton is retired. 1 down here in the 7th. Makes Dutch 0 for 3 in the ball game. Brad Clontz, 25 years of age, out of Stewart, Virginia. Atlanta's 10th round draft choice in '92, so he's up here fairly quickly.
And early in the season, before Mark Wohlers established himself as the closer in the bullpen for the Atlanta Braves, Clontz was getting some opportunities to close games.
Charlie Hayes, 1 for 3, had a double.
He has, as you mentioned, the 4 saves on the season. So he and Wohlers kind of shared that role early, but Wohlers has caught fire now for the Braves, and Clontz has moved back into the setup role.
Ball hit in the air to center field. Grissom racing back some more. Not that one. It's a center field home run, and it's now a 1-run ball game. Charlie Hayes, number 7. Braves lead it 6-5. Dead center field for Charlie.
Straight over the 402 sign. Charlie, who has been doing a lot of pulling off. Maybe it's the motion of Clontz that makes him concentrate on staying in there. Gets the breaking ball and hits it to straightaway center field. Grissom this time does get back, but runs out of room.
It's only the Phillies' second home run in the last 9 ball games, but they'll take it, and they are within 1. Here's Tommy Marsh. The rap against a guy who throws the way Clance does always has been that he's tougher on the guys who bat from that side, you know, like right-handers in this case, and not so tough on left-handers. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I heard that a lot over the course of my career, and it's probably true. I mean, it's not so much the fastball, because the sinking fastball is almost going straight down. So that's the same for right-handers and left-handers. It's the breaking ball with the sidearm submarine delivery. The breaking ball has a tendency to be flat. Well, that breaking ball is flat and big and moving away from a right-handed hitter, but breaking into a left-handed hitter. So you really just don't have as much flexibility.
There's a grounder to third. And nice shift at first by McGriff, who takes the ball behind the bag. Marsh is out, and there are 2 outs in the inning.
You don't have the flexibility. See McGriff right here at first base. Speaking of Clance, you don't have the flexibility. You know, right-handed hitters, you can use your fastball and your slider pretty much equally as much, but with a left-handed hitter, kind of limits you on how many of those sliders you can throw. You almost have to use it as a pitch that you're going to try to fool them with. You have to go more exclusively to the fastball against the left-handers.
Longmire has flied to left, walked, and picked up an infield hit, following which he scored. How about the comeback of the Phillies here tonight? Down 6-0. It is now 6-5. Braves going to get more bullpen action. They're going to get Bourbon up again. And they're going to get a right-hander up too, I think.
Now, just an interested observer, Ned Yost, the bullpen coach. I have a feeling what Bobby Cox was trying to do. Bourbon was up last inning. The Braves, like the Phillies, only have one left-hander in the bullpen, it being Bourbon. I think he was trying to use Clance to keep that one left-hander for later on in the ball game, but now the home run by Charlie Hayes has tightened this thing up. He's going to have to play that left-handed card probably a little sooner than he would want to. When you've only got one left-hander in the bullpen, you try to protect him, keep him available.
Just missed. Well, the Phillies have scored 3 innings in a row now. Earlier in the ball game, we saw the Braves score 3 innings in a row, and they haven't scored since. We had a 1-run ball game here last night. We've got a 1-run game here tonight. Ground ball, funny hop for McGriff. Nice play for McGriff. Good cover by Clance. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. A run on the home run by Charlie Hayes. Their only hit, nobody left on base. Stretch time and a 6-5. Well, for those of you who are at the Vet for the recent Rich Ashburn tribute, we'd like to invite you to come on back and bring your friends. We're going to tribute Mike Schmidt Saturday, August 12th, 8:05. Mike and Whitey both in the Hall of Fame now, and on this particular ceremony, all fans are going to receive a beautiful limited edition print commemorating the event, compliments of MAB Paints. So come on out Saturday, August 12th, and see Mike Schmidt given the honor that he deserves. Well, the Phillies are down by just a run in this ball game. It's 6-5 now. Chipper Jones leading off the inning. Chipper is 2 out of 3 tonight with a single, a double. He's knocked in a run and scored a run. Michael Mims thinks about bunting. This is an inning that Jim Fregosi would like to get Mims through. Then he can go to the Batalico-Borland combo. Get into the late innings of a 1-run ball game. We talked earlier about the role of a guy who's in the mop-up situation. Not so much mop-up, but early inning guy, and Mike Williams did it tonight. He did a nice job.
They kind of just put a little bit of sanity back in the ball game, gave the Phillies a chance.
Mims trying to do the same thing here, and if they can get to the other guys, then they did their job.
This inning for the Braves, Jones the switch hitter, and then 3 left-handers, McGriff, Justice, and Plesko. So we'd like to have Mims, especially through that left-handed part of the lineup, take some of the sting out of those left-handed bats, hopefully.
3-2 pitch. Called him out on strikes. Jones caught looking for the first out in the bottom of the 7th. Back-to-back strikeout for Mims. He struck out Blauser to end the top half. I should say end the 6th inning.
Chipper Jones just froze on that pitch. The fastball by Mims, knee high right down the middle.
Fred McGriff.
I know he's looking breaking ball or changeup or what he was looking for, but it wasn't fastball down the middle.
Well, they gave McGriff a 3-0 light back in the 3rd inning. A couple of guys on base, and he doubled to the gap in right field and knocked in 2 runs. Got him to swing at that pitch. 1-1. Two and 1. Mims nibbling a little bit here. McGriff having no part of it. 3-1. That Chicago-Pittsburgh game is 3-3 in the 9th. Out into right field. Base hit. Witten couldn't get it. McGriff singles. Gets his 2nd hit of the ball game. It's the Braves' first hit off Mims.
Mims changes the pattern after throwing McGriff a lot of breaking balls away on 3-1. Came in with the fastball, jammed him, but Prime Dog able to just dump it in front of Witten in right field. Didn't hit it hard, may have broken his bat. But nonetheless, it died a hero, and he's on first base.
So here's Justice. He started the scoring tonight way back in the 2nd inning with a solo home run. Since then, he has walked and lined out. And his team led by 1 at that point, and now they lead again just by 1 at 6-5. In the interim, they had led 6-0 at one point. But Talico up. In the air to left field. Longmire's going to play it. There's the 2nd out of the inning. Justice has twice lined out to left, and he hit his home run to left. Another left-handed batter, Klesko, coming up.
Klesko the last in this string of left-handers for the Braves. Then we go to the right side with Javi Lopez and Mark Lemke.
You know, the perfect script for the Phillies is for Mims to go ahead and get the last out here and then worry about it next inning. McGriff is running. Dalton a little trouble getting the grip on it, but he threw him out. Nice play. Fred McGriff is out stealing for the 4th time this year. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left on base, and the Braves lead it 6-5. Tonight's game on Sports Channel is brought to you in part by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. And by Nationwide Insurance Enterprise. Nationwide is on your side. Your Nationwide agent in Lafayette Hill is Jack Kustra. Mark Witten leads off the 8th inning for the Phillies, short by only a run now. It's a 6-5 ball game. Witten has batted just once tonight. He got a pinch hit single, remained in the ball game, so here he gets a chance to bat for the 2nd time. Facing Brad Klontz, who always works from the stretch even to start the inning.
Kind of interesting this inning. We're going to see Witten, who did not start the game, Morandini, who did not start the game, and of course a hitter for Michael Mims, so that'll be someone off the bench that did not start the game. Jim Fregosi putting Morandini in the game in a double switch and then hitting Witten and allowing him to stay in the game. A lot of that has to do with the fact that the Braves only have the one left-hander in the bullpen, so when you put the left-handed bats in there, leave them in there.
One ball and 2 strikes on Witten, acquired from the Boston Red Sox for Dave Hollins. Outside. Italico already up in the Phillies bullpen, and the Braves have one of each up out there, Teak.
Yep. Bourbon again And Mark Wohlers begins to loosen.
Got him. Clance comes along to strike out Witten, first out of the 8th inning.
Lopez calling for the ball inside. Clance throwing it up in the strike zone, a dangerous place for a sinker ball pitcher, but out over the plate, but he gets away with it.
Morandini has struck out and doubled to knock in 2 runs, and he scored a run. Mickey did not start the ball game, as you mentioned. He came on in the 4th inning. And Clance obviously has something on the ball. Out of play down near the Phillies bullpen. No balls and 2 strikes on Morandini. We're in the 8th inning. It's a good ball game. The Phillies in another 1-run affair here tonight, just like last night. In the air to left center, going to find open spaces. Cut off nicely by Klesko, but Mickey heads to second, and the return is offline. It's another double for Morandini.
And that's a double caused by the Morandini hustle. He came out of the box all the way with the idea that he was going to go for 2 bases. See right here, the fastball out over the plate again. 2 strikes from Clance. As Klesko cuts the ball off in left center field, he's moving away from home plate. He has to lunge to get it. It takes him a while to slow down. Morandini going hard all the way. The throw off line slides into second.
Here comes Bobby Cox, because the Phillies have announced Morandini as the pinch hitter, so he's going to play that one left-handed card that he has, Pedro Borbon. Morandini to bat, and he will bat off a left-hander, Borbon, as the Phillies have the tying run out there.
Eisenreich.
Eisenreich the batter for the Phillies. Eisenreich's going to pinch hit. Bourbon's going to come on. We'll be back in just a moment. This is Jim Eisenreich coming up there following the double by Morandini. Phillies still short a run, so Pedro Borbon called on to get out Jim Eisenreich.
Borbon on for the 24th time this season. No wins, 1 loss, 2.63 earned run average. He also has a couple saves. We mentioned Mark Wohlers, the stopper for the Braves. He has 11, but Borbon along the way has picked up a pair. He's in to face Jim Eisenreich.
Eisy batting .313, 4 homers, 32 RBIs, 2 for 14 as a pinch hitter. 1 out in the inning. Six to 5 Atlanta, top half of the 8th inning. That's a called strike on Jim. No balls and 2 strikes.
With Borbon now in the ball game, Wohler stays up in the bullpen. He's joined by Rod Nichols, so the Braves now with a pair of right-handers throwing in their bullpen. Nichols just recalled. Mike Stanton sent to the Boston Red Sox, so he took his place on the roster.
It's high a ball. Yeah, Nichols was leading the International League in saves when they brought him up. That's Rod Nichols. Eisenreich used to batting off left-handers. Ooh, close. Jimmy with a real good eye. It's 2-2. Got to trust the umpire. Two-two pitch. Breaking ball is high. Good at bat for Eisy. He was 0-2. Now the count is full. Hits it into the air to right field. Justice will have the play. And he makes the catch. That's the second out of the inning. And Morandini has to stay put at second base. It wasn't deep enough for him to tag and go. Now Bobby Cox going to bring in one of those right-handers to face Jeffries. So another 1/3 of an inning appearance for Bourbon. Talk about the age of specialization. That is it. Wohlers coming in. Pitching change. We'll be right back. Right-hander Mark Wohlers is now the Atlanta pitcher. 4-3, 2.39 earned run average, 11 saves to lead the Braves. And tonight marks his 40th appearance for the man who has claimed the closer's role. He has allowed only 1 earned run in his last 16 ball games. Pretty good role he's on right there, Teak.
Yeah, Wohlers a couple times in the past has been, everybody thought he was right on the brink of taking over the closer's job, and the Braves and Bobby Cox wanted him to, but he just was not able to step forward and do it. But it appears as if 1995 is the year that Mark Wohlers has arrived.
Now, by bringing him on here in the 8th inning, Bobby Cox is obviously asking him to get 4 outs, right?
He's asking him to get 4 outs, and it holds up the old axiom about relief pitchers that the most important person that you're going to face in the entire ball game is the first person when you come into the game. Obviously, right now, Greg Jeffries is the most important person that Mark Wohlers is going to face. Tying runners in scoring position. If he can get Jeffries out, he gets to start off with a clean slate next inning. If he doesn't, this ball game's tied. So, Greg Jeffries, Mark Wohlers, 1-on-1, mano-a-mano. Here we go.
And you can see Jeffries has had a good ball game. 2 singles and a double. He's knocked in 1 run. Morandini at second base representing the tying run in the game. 2 outs in the 8th. Takes a strike.
Wohlers with the overpowering fastball. Saw it right there on the outside corner. Will also use a slider and a splitter.
Wohlers lost Game 5 of the League Championship Series to the Phillies in '93 on a home run by Lenny Dykstra. Strike.
And that was the Wohlers slider. I think that's a big difference in Mark Wohlers this year. It used to be you just had to be able to hit his fastball, which was a tough enough task, but now he's throwing the other pitches over the plate. So Greg Jeffries behind in the count 0-2 is going to have to battle his way through this one.
Wohlers says that Greg Maddux has been quite a leader for him. He talks baseball with him all the time. Gets a lot of good pointers from him. Foul ball. One thing about Maddux, he is not reluctant to share information. He's like a coach in uniform. There's the professor.
Yet when I talked to him before the game and you talk about it, he goes, what do we mean help the young guys? So the young guys go out there, they have to throw the ball themselves. Wants none of the credit. But in the background, he's passing on those little tidbits of information.
He's sitting there just absorbing stuff by being around him. Wohlers gets the strikeout. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 6-5 Atlanta.
Why not join Richie Ashburn, Robin Roberts, Greg Luzinski, Larry Boa, and other great stars at Phillies Dream Week. Space in this super week of fun, laughter, and baseball at Clearwater Beach this February is limited, and you should call now to reserve your uniform and space on the roster to live the dream of a lifetime. And don't forget, there's a no money down 4-year payment plan too. To save your spot, call right now, 215-938-1200 for Phillies Dream Week.
Ricky Bottalico takes over the hill for the Phillies. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning of a game led by the Braves 6-5. And Bottalico has done a terrific job. 3-2, 2.19, and he's on a real roll right now. Bottalico 10 1/3 innings without giving up a run. Last night he finally gave up a hit for the first time in a long while. Brian Klesko batting. He is 0 for 3 in the game. Fly ball to center, a strikeout, and a ground out. One ball and one strike. Klesko, Lopez, and Lemke here in the bottom of the 8th. Braves already have their closer in the ball game. That Cubs-Pirates game is in the 10th inning now, still tied 3-3. Cincinnati beat New York 6-2. Full count. Javier Lopez waiting his turn. Patalico's 3-2 pitch missed. So Klesko draws a walk on a close pitch. And they're going to put Kelly in to run for him. Kelly will run for Klesko. And then undoubtedly stay in the outfield. Kelly had been in a platoon situation with him.
This is kind of a dual purpose move by Bobby Cox. Number one, Kelly a better base runner, quicker, and a potential base stealer. Mentioned 7 stolen bases earlier. Also probably a better defensive outfielder than Klesko, so he would have made the defensive move next inning anyway. So with Klesko getting aboard, he allowed to use Kelly early and get a little more speed on the bases.
And it's going to be, it goes to the infield. Kelly makes it to third base on a double play ground ball. But Duncan did not get the hop he was expecting. It's an error on Duncan.
Ball sharply hit by Lopez, but right at Duncan. No problem at all if he comes up cleanly, turning the double play, but the ball bounces off his shoulder. Goes into right field by the time Morandini can get to it. You see that ball just comes up on him a little bit. He's down trying to block it with his body. Comes up off the wrist and kicks out into short right field. By the time Morandini flags it down, the Braves with runners on the corner. So now the Phillies forced to play the infield up. Nobody out. Down by a run here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
There is one advantage. If they can get Lemke, the next guy to bat will be Wohlers. They're not going to pinch hit for him. So you got an out looking at you if you can get the first out. In the air to left center and a base hit. Kelly scores and the Braves lead it 7-5 on a single by Lemke, who somehow or another always hurts the Phillies.
Lemke doesn't hit it hard, but he just flares it into left field, gets the job done. Johnny Padres on the way to the mound. Nobody throwing in the Phillies bullpen. You see Lemke, that ball on his fist, but he able to fight it into left field. Padres on the way to the hill now, just talking to Botalico. This is just hey, I know you threw the double play ball. Shouldn't be here. They shouldn't have scored, but just try to get yourself back together and keep your program going.
Meantime, while that was going on, Mark Wohlers had a meeting with the third base coach Jimmy Williams, and the Phillies will be looking for a bunt here. Wohlers certainly would be expected to bunt at this point. He has not sacrificed all year long. 0 for 1, he struck out.
Well, you can bet that Jimmy Williams told him you're bunting the first strike, you're bunting the second strike, and you're bunting the third strike.
It's a foul ball. So Botalico has finally been scored upon after going 10 1/3 innings without giving up a run.
Interesting seeing you talk about Wohlers. He has not sacrificed. I was down by the cage when the Braves pitchers were taking batting practice tonight. And one part of the drill in batting practice, they play a little game where you get your base hits and all that. Anytime there's a man on, before you can swing the bat, you must sacrifice him along in their game. So the Braves pitcher's aware of the fact that it's important to get bunts down.
That's a strike. They said he went after it, so it's no balls and 2 strikes on Wohlers.
I would think that Wohlers is still bunting.
I would think so too. It certainly calls for it. After all, they have the lead here anyway. They don't want him running the bases, so go ahead and try to bunt. He's out. That'd be a strikeout. Tekulve picks up a K, first out of the inning. Marquise Grissom coming up now. Runners first and second. Braves lead the game 7-5. Braves run in the inning is their first run since back in the 4th inning. Phillies bullpen really doing a job, and here of course the error really messed this inning up. Marquise has walked, been hit by a pitch, hit a sacrifice fly and lined to short. 0 for 1 and 0 for his last 11.
You talk about how big the error was. I mean, you turn that double play, even if Lemke gets his base hit, nobody cares because Wohlers, is up to make the 3rd out of the inning. So it's an easy scoreless inning if the double play is turned, but it wasn't, and the Braves tack on an additional run.
Tekulve has missed on 2 very close pitches, 2-0. Grissom's first year here in Atlanta. He has been, of course, with the Montreal Expos till now. Hits the ball to center field. Caught out there by Tommy Marsh. So Marquise hits it right on the button, but he's out. 2 outs in the inning. And it's Jeff Blauser time. Blauser 1 for 3 tonight, an infield single. He's also been hit by a pitch. Blauser chats with Dalton before he steps in. 2 on and 2 out. Braves ahead 7-5. Off year for Blauser, batting just .221. Strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Blauser. Blauser among the league leaders in strikeouts. He fanned tonight for the 84th time. Three balls and a strike. Now Blauser will be looking for a pitch here. Chipper Jones waits his turn. Thinking ahead to the Phillies' 9th inning, it's going to be Duncan, Dalton, and Hayes to bat against Mark Wohlers. Pop foul, back out of play. So now it's a full count and the runners will be going. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Phillies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Phillies. (7-5) Atlanta. We're in the 8th. Fly ball. ball, foul, and out of play. Well, from the Braves' point of view, Teak, they got to be feeling pretty good about getting that extra run to go into the 9th inning leading by 2 instead of 1 is big.
Well, it most certainly is, because now not every batter that comes to the plate can potentially tie the ball game up. And the one thing, with Mark Wohlers, as hard as he throws, you don't have to get all of it to hit it out of the ballpark. But Phillies now have to get a base runner on before they run into one of those Wohlers pitches. So big run for the Atlanta Braves in the bottom of the 8th.
Runners go, and it's ball 4. So the Braves have him loaded up here for Chipper Jones. Tekulve made the mistake of walking the first batter in the inning, and that's what hurt him. Dalton will have a little chat with him before Jones comes up.
Padres on the way to the phone. That means action in the Philly bullpen. Right now, important for the Phillies to get out of this inning with just the 1-run scoring. It's difficult enough to score 2 runs off of Wohlers. Every time you tack on another one, it becomes even worse.
Here's Chipper Jones. He has 2 hits in the ball game tonight. Swings through the pitch.
Saw the call to the bullpen. Paul Quantrill up and throwing.
Interesting choice. Quantrill is listed as the starter Saturday night, so I guess he could pitch to a batter or so. Quantrill's got one of those rubber arms. Oh, that pitch just missed. Tekulve has not gotten the call on some very close pitches in the inning. One ball and 1 strike on Chipper Jones. Breaking ball, he didn't get it. Chipper Jones looking good in the field again tonight. Teak, I'm sure he's way up there in Rookie of the Year voting. Consideration at this point, not voting yet.
No, about 2 more months to go before the votes will be tabulated, but you can bet he will be a contender.
Tekulve with a big strikeout to end the inning. However, the Braves get 1 insurance run. They do so with just 1 hit in the inning, a costly error, 3 men left on base. 9th inning coming up, and the Braves lead 7-5. Mike Kelly stays in to play left field for Atlanta. And the Phillies will bat here in the 9th inning, 2 runs short. They're going to start with Duncan, then go to Dalton, and then Charlie Hayes, and they will do it against Mark Wohlers. Phillies have out-hit the Braves 10-8.
When you look at Wohlers' numbers for the year coming into this evening, he had pitched 39 times, 37 2/3 innings. So the fact that he has not been one of those guys that has been going beyond the 9th inning, it's kind of a rare thing tonight. Bobby Cox felt that he had to get that big out in the 8th inning. Wohlers came in and got Jeffries on strikes. But now kind of a strange territory for Wohlers, because he's not used to going back out that 2nd inning. Hasn't done it that much this year. We'll see how it affects him.
Good night for Duncan. Mariano in the ball game is 1 for 3, a double. He has also driven in a run on a sacrifice fly. Caught by Lemke. Oh boy. That looked like a sure hit for Mariano Duncan, but Lemke just finds another way to hurt the Phillies.
Duncan hits it right on the button, but Lemke going away from the infield as high as he can go, catches it right up in the webbing of the glove. That's as high as Mark Lemke can get, and he was there at the top of his jump just as the ball got there.
Here's Darren Dalton. Dutch tonight 0 for 3 plus a walk. Just missed. Reached base on an error and drew a walk. 7-5 Atlanta. We're in the ninth. Braves have not beaten the Phillies in their park this year. Foul out of play.
That play by Lemke, I mean, when you're in the ninth inning and you're down by a couple runs, outs are precious. So number one, it hurts because it's the first out of the inning, but also Duncan's on. That means the tying runs at the plate. Unless there's a double play, he's up there for the rest of the inning. So big play by Mark Lemke.
Whistling fastball in at the ears. 2 balls and a strike. Pitchers in tomorrow night's ball game. Tyler Green for the Phillies. John Smoltz for Atlanta. Smoltz an 8-game winner. Well, that was hard stuff against hard stuff there. Rollers with the heat. Dalton with swinging fastball all the way.
Yeah, when Wohlers cuts it loose, you don't have a whole lot of time to make up your mind. He's been able to push that gun up around the 100-mile-an-hour mark. That's quick.
2-2. Wohlers was Atlanta's 10th round draft choice back in '88. He lost his first major league game September 1 of '91 at Veterans Stadium. In the air down the left field line. Kelly giving chase, but that ball's out of play. Mark Wohlers once struck out 4 in an inning. Did it against the Cubs on June 7th of this year, becoming only the 4th player in the history of the Braves to do that.
Catcher problems.
That's right. What it is.
Can't hang on to one of those third strikes. He was drafted in the 10th round. I wonder who the guys were in the first 9 rounds. He's a horse.
Dutch gets a piece of another one. He's hanging in there. Charlie Hayes waiting his turn.
Mist starting to fall again.
Uh-oh.
So just a light sprinkling right now.
Fans starting to scurry here. A little bit high. Fine at bat for Dalton. It's a full count on Dutch. Our game was never delayed by rain, but we played through some pretty hard rain early innings tonight, right about the 4th into the 5th. I guess the hardest rain was the top of the 5th, wasn't it? Because it was a question of whether the game would be official or not. Dalton puts it in play, gets a base hit up the middle, and the Phillies will get the tying run to the plate. A single by Dalton, and the Phillies are in business.
And this is just the end product of a great at bat by Dalton, scratching and clawing all the way against Wohlers, fighting to keep himself alive, fouling off a lot of balls, and then able to bounce the ball back up the middle. See the little fishtail coming off of it.
It's amazing that it would be kicking up that much water, isn't it?
And without the play of Lemke at second, that would probably be first and third, nobody out. But nonetheless, it is Darren Dalton on first, 1 out, and Charlie Hayes.
Charlie tonight has doubled and homered. First pitch to him is a ball. Charlie's home run was his first since June 25th at St. Louis. And it was the Phillies' first home run since a week ago tonight. Game 2 of that doubleheader against Pittsburgh when Tony Longmire crushed that upper deck job. Ground ball. Blauser steps on second, throws to first, and the Braves have beaten the Phillies for the first time this year here in their own ballpark. and explosions go off. The Braves finally beat the Phillies. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Atlanta breaks a 2-game losing streak by winning this one tonight. For the Braves, 7 runs on 8 hits. That's 8 hits for Atlanta, 1 error, and 8 men left on base. For the Phillies, 5 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors. They leave 9 on base. Merker, the winner, he is 5-6, a save for Wohlers. He gets number 12. The losing pitcher is Bobby Munoz, who falls to 0-2. Home run by Justice, home run by Charlie Hayes. And Mark Lemke, as always, is a thorn on the side of the Phillies. And here's that catch he just made here in the 9th inning.
Yeah, just part of the damage that Mark Lemke did tonight, but he makes a big defensive play off the bat of Mariano Duncan here in the 9th inning to keep the Phillies at bay, at least for the moment. Dalton follows that with a single, so give that play along with a couple RBIs that he had, triple and a single. Mark Lemke, our Texaco star of the game this evening.
Always a thorn on the side of the Phillies when he got that RBI triple in the 4th inning. He was 0 for 25 at the plate at that point. Came on to get another RBI hit in the 8th inning. So the Braves are winners here by a 7-5 score. We'll return to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium in just a moment. Phillies baseball was brought to you in part by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true, this Bud's for you. The Yellow Pages, 9 out of 10 people choose the genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. Mellon PSFS, the official bank of the Phillies, featuring full-service evening and 7-day banking. Texaco, clean System 3 gasoline. Add more life to your car, take it to the star. The Pennsylvania Lottery. Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. And by Independence Blue Cross Pennsylvania Blue Shield, for 57 years, the health insurance company you can lean on. Now back here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, here's the final with the Braves picking up a 7-5 victory over the Phillies, the first time they have beaten the Phillies here at home. And the Phillies remain, however, 6-4 against Atlanta this year. Teak, pretty good job again out of the bullpen by the Phils.
Phillies bullpen did a good job. The offense did a nice job. You know, down 6-0. It's easy to fold up tent and call it a night, but they didn't. They fought back, made it 6-5. Braves tack on the one in the end, make it 7-5.
Andy Musser for Kent Tekulve, just reminding you that our next Phillies game here on Sports Channel will be Tuesday, August 8th, when the Phillies take on the New York Mets from Veterans Stadium. That ball game will be at 7:30 with Phillies game time at 7 o'clock. Now coming up next on Sports Channel, Mentadent Champions Tour semifinals. That's already in progress.